The following is paid for by Advanced Physical Medicine of Miami.
The information presented in this program is for educational purposes only. It is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any condition, illness, or disease. The depiction of successful results from the treatments discussed in this presentation are examples of the possible benefits and do not guarantee results. The decision to start any medical treatment should be made only after discussing all benefits and risks with a healthcare provider.
Welcome to Healthy Dose with Dr. Joe. Are you ready to repair damage to your body? Replace what is depleting to regain your youthful vitality? Regenerate what is now degenerating? Dr. Joseph Gambardella is a doctor of chiropractic medicine and an anti-aging health practitioner diplomat. He was the first doctor in Miami to complete his fellowship training in stem cell therapies. As the owner of Advanced Physical Medicine and Rehab of Miami, he provides patients with the most sophisticated and safest treatments in the market today. Join Dr. Joe for the next half hour and learn about the medical advancements that have helped thousands avoid surgery and pain meds. From stem cells to hormones and everything in between. Get ready to feel empowered. Get ready to regain control and reclaim your life. Now, here's your Healthy Dose with Dr. Joe.
Welcome to Healthy Dose Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Joe Gambardella with Advanced Physical Medicine and Rehab of Miami. Definitely look at our website, APMR Miami, and call the office at 305-598-8788. I'm here today, as always, with our office manager, Rob. How you doing today, Rob?
Just love getting out of the office.
And we also have a great friend to the office, a great person. His name is Leo Rodriguez. He is Chairman Emeritus for Emerson Latin America. He is a partner in Jaguar Precision Manufacturing and a partner in Red Carpet Productions. Hey, Leo.
Hello. Dr. Joe Gambardella. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, it's our pleasure having you, Leo, because I think the reason we thought you'd be a great fit for the show is because some of the remarkable transformations you've had in the office, recovering from injuries, feeling better, getting some of your hormones balanced out. But I wanted to take a minute just to let the audience know how you found us to begin with.
Well, I was on my own, working with another doctor, using a different type of delivery for hormones treatment. And I felt that the discipline, the cadence of testing for blood, testing to see where you are, where you're not, was not in order. I'm an engineer by background, so engineers want to know exactly, they want metrics on everything.
Everything's got to be precise.
Everything's got to be precise, and safe. And I found you through a colleague who had been using you, and I haven't gone back.
And just to let everyone know, you had done some blood work, and your doctor found out that you were lower in testosterone, like most of us are when we hit a certain age.
Correct.
And they put you on a program using pellet therapy.
Correct. Correct.
And pellets are basically a very simple procedure where they inject some pellets that are about the size of a grain of rice underneath the butt, and it systemically releases testosterone over a period of time.
Over a period of time, approximately 3 to 4 months. So they last 3 months, 4 months, correct? And they're stacked. Anywhere from 5 to 7 pellets.
5 to 7. And what happens is typically people feel really good in the beginning because you're getting a really high dose. But after 2-3 months, when the dosing starts to wear down, some of the benefits start to decrease also. So you feel a little bit more fatigued, less recovery. So it's taking longer to recover in the gym. The pump that you feel, all of those great things that are associated with high levels of testosterone start to decrease. But you're stuck because you can only do it every 3 to 4 months.
Correct. And it's not linear. So you may start getting tired or not as energetic or shorter workouts, and you're not sure whether the pellets are wearing out or whether it's they're still in there and it's just you.
Yeah.
So it's hard to guess.
And that's the reason why we like in our office using the injectables, because you can change the dose literally by the week. If someone's not feeling as well as they want to, they're feeling great, you could do a blood test, get the results in 2 days or 2 minutes, and find out if you need to change it. So you're not hampered by a procedure where you're stuck for 4 months. It's interesting though in that you said initially when you did the therapy prior to coming and see us, you got some really good benefits. Your testosterone level went up. You were getting some benefits from that as well. But we also found out when we did some initial blood work that some of the other lab numbers increased as well that we didn't necessarily want to increase. like estrogen and some of the hemoglobin and hematocrit.
Right, and that was being ignored. And as a result of having complete panels with APC, your company, I get tested quarterly at least. If there's a need to make adjustments to one of the supplements, that's done, depending on what the blood tells you. And it's very scientific. It's more science, really, than an art. And what I was finding that sometimes there was a lot of science. And then with the pellets, coming back to the pellets, the art comes in that, are the pellets gone? Are they still there or not there? So this is working out much better.
And we like it, too, because we get to treat the patient as well as review the lab. So, you're not just dealing with a piece of paper. Everyone's different. And the stresses that you have change from day to day and week to week, and that changes the levels of your hormones as well. So primarily we were talking about testosterone and safely elevating growth hormone to protect the heart, to really give you that look that you want in the gym, the recovery, the deep sleep. What have you noticed since elevating your hormone levels as far as, beginning to end? And what led you to want to replace your hormones or even think that you needed to replace some of these hormones?
Well, first of all, my primary care physicians, and I get 2 executive physicals every year, have been shocked and good surprise in how well my panels are reading, right across the board. And one of the first things, I'm an executive, I'm semi-retired, I'm running a private equity firm, I'm doing private space, I'm doing films now, which is interesting. And you need the energy, not only to go with a 12, 14-hour day, but also to be able to squeeze a 1 or 2 hour workout in there. Deal with family obligations, what we all have to deal with. And I was finding, I am now 68, I was finding that I didn't have the energy that I used to have. In the gym, I couldn't do the repetitions that I could do, and worst of all, coming back to not knowing, because I wasn't getting my full blood panels like I am with you. I really didn't know where I stood. So energy, sexual drive, it's important. Being able to go long hours, go on 12, 14-hour plane rides.
So you do, and we were just talking before the show, you're retired, quote unquote retired, right? And busier than you've ever been before. So there's less hours in the day to get things done.
Because yes, private equity and venture capital will keep you busy when you're sleeping and not sleeping.
Yeah, if there's any sleeping at all. But just as a disclaimer for those of you, nobody could see unless you're watching us on Facebook right now, but Leo said he's 68 years old. He probably looks as good or better than any of us here in this room right now. He's the tannest one here.
Thank you very much.
Huge smile. But you do look great, Leo. And that's one of the things that people who are pondering, am I just tired because it's my mattress, it's my pillow, I don't like my job, my relationship is not great. You need to get your hormone levels checked because it's the right thing to do to find out if you're healthy. We talk to our patients all the time that we want everyone to live to be 100. And we want quality and function for 100 years. So if you're at 45, 50 years old and you just think, well, this is par for the course, this is where I'm supposed to be, it's not. You're supposed to be good and age. You're supposed to age gracefully. We speak about that. You could never, you're 68. You're not going to be 65 next year.
Right.
You'll be 69. But internally, the hormones, they can actually have a chance to turn back, and you can have the healthy hormone levels that you do today the same way that you did when you were 25 and 35. So, you could turn back the biological clock safely and effectively by doing it the right way, by using bioidentical hormones. There's an enormous difference between doing bioidentical hormones or hormones that your body makes versus doing synthetic ones. You were mentioning before the show that you have a good friend of yours that had some negative experience as a female with possibly doing some synthetic hormones, and were asking me about that. Correct.
And we're going to come see you. And the reason is there was some bleeding, which could be caused by many, many reasons. Yes. You have some theories, but and I think your theories are correct. But she's gonna come see you here shortly. But I wanted to come back to the 68 because when you're dealing with private equity and venture capital, the ages range. The most successful venture capitalists today are between 23 and 28 years old. And then private equity is a little different. You get a crowd that's a little bit older. But to keep up with these youngsters, and both male and females at 68 requires a great deal of energy, particularly with millennials.
Yeah.
And I hope there's no millennials out there that I'm insulting. I don't mean to insult anybody, but they have a lot of energy. And I have to try to keep up and try to lead.
Yeah, and that's done by not only what you say, but how you look. You got to look the part, you got to act the part, you got to feel the part.
Right.
And so since you've been balanced out now, we should also let the audience know that you had an injury, a pretty substantial injury that had you take a step back, but the hormones actually helped in the healing process. Tell us about that injury that you had.
I'll try to be brief, but I went to see Bette Midler in her last show with Hello Dolly. With my oldest daughter coming out of the theater in New York City, I fell down the stairs and a whole flight. And when I landed on the floor, I had torn my quadricep tendon completely off the bone. Now, I had, as we've talked, other injuries in the past, ACLs, MCLs, due to sports, but never a freak injury like that. And I believe sincerely, we've talked about this earlier, that I've been able to recover in a much shorter period of time than it's anticipated for a quad tendon tear, 100% off the bone, because of the work that I'm doing with you.
And that's a major injury to the lower extremities. For those of you who are New York Giants fans, Victor Cruz, that's one of the major injuries that really in part led to the end of his career, where that quadricep muscle, the muscle that runs from your hip down over your kneecap, completely popped. It went up like a shade.
Yeah, it's a very gruesome, gross scene when you see that the tendon is halfway up your leg and your kneecap is down, where your chin bone is.
Yep.
And in between, there's just a gap. So people said 18 months. I've been able to recover. At 7 months, I was in really good shape.
Yeah.
So I was able to cut, I'm not going to say a full year, but I'm going to say a good 9 months. And I'm back to doing most of the things that I was doing before.
And I know your doctors that are actually really heavily involved in the care, they're the ones that are almost telling you to take it back a little bit, right? Because you want to get at it so quickly, you feel so good.
Right. So I did a lot of beach work, a lot of cross training. So I've had to modify some things for sure. Walking in the sand or running in the sand or working in the sand, which is I have the luxury, or I'm lucky enough to live on a beach, is hard work, particularly in the kind of heat we're having right now. So I've cut back, but I've cut back mostly to prevent another injury. But what's helped me get to where I am today has been the work that I've been doing with you and your team. And Robert here next to me has been exceptional.
And Leo, when they could Google you and find out all about you and see what a big deal you are, because you really are. But with all the success that you've had, all the things that you've been able to help people with, things you've been able to acquire, I think we all agree that health is the greatest possession that you can ever have.
Right.
And without that, flying all over the world, doing all the things that you do, it's really meaningless.
It's completely meaningless. What you have at the end of the day is people to coach and lead and set the example for those people. So with individuals that I've worked with in the past, they shall go unnamed. I have been a proponent to make sure that they also, at a younger age, I wish somebody would have talked to me at a younger age when I was in my early 40s or late 30s, but that's besides the point. About
I love that the 40s are your young days. Thank you for that.
But I wish I could have started earlier. So what I try to do with some of the team members in some of these companies that I work with, if they're coachable and if they're willing to listen and have an open mind, that this is good if it's done correctly with a professional team of doctors and specialists, and that it's something also not to play with.
Yeah,
okay?
Exactly.
Because we're playing with, our body, and this is our temple, and I sincerely believe that safety is critical. And with you and your organization, I feel very safe, very safe.
And it makes us feel great. All the hard work that we do, all the research, the continuing education to always find out the newest, the better. We were talking actually right before the show about a new peptide that came out on how to increase growth hormone more effectively to recover better, to really put on more muscle when it's harder theoretically because we're aging to put on really heavy amounts of muscle that we want to. But I was going to take a step back, and when I was growing up in athletics, I heard that testosterone was bad, performance enhancing drugs were bad, and I didn't even realize that we had testosterone in our body. That's just how I grew up before I got into that. And after the break, we're going to talk about how testosterone isn't all bad and it's actually an essential hormone for healing.
Repair your body. Replace your key hormone levels. Allow your body to regenerate itself without surgery or meds. When it comes to your health, the best plan is preventative. If you wait for symptoms to show, you could be too late. With over 40 years combined clinical experience, all under one conveniently located state-of-the-art facility, Dr. Joe is on the leading edge of regenerative and physical medicine. Take control of your health and get a free consultation and evaluation. Visit us at apmrmiami.com or call 305-598-8788. 305-598-8788.
So coming back to testosterone, we had mentioned that when we grow up, the people that take testosterone in the locker room, they're bad guys. Those are they're getting through life cheating to the system. But testosterone, as I came to understand and learn, it's an essential hormone that's in the body. And if you take too much of a good thing, it's not good for you. There's tons of studies that years ago we heard that egg yolks are bad. Now their egg yolks are good. Tomorrow they'll be bad. Drinking red wine is not good. Then we hear red wine is good for you. The thing that's undisputed is testosterone is an anti-inflammatory drug that the body makes. It's a hormone, not a drug, I should say, that the body makes that is essential to reduce inflammation in the body. So your brain needs it and your body needs it. And when your hormone levels are optimal, you're going to live longer. So listen to what I'm saying. If you want to live longer, if you want to be healthier, get your hormone levels checked. That's the only way you're going to know if you need this. It's not just because you have low drive, low energy, but you want to be healthier. But if you do have those other things, like you're looking for better performance in the gym, you want better drive, you want better sex drive, all of these things are going to help. Right. In the business world, Leo, what have you found as far as being able to concentrate? You're staying up more hours than you're sleeping. How has this helped you?
It's my concentration levels, but also my assertiveness levels. And I don't know if it has to do with the libido or how testosterone affects certain parts of the subconscious, but certainly I feel that I am able to focus a lot better on a subject and stay with it longer than I used to, and not get bored. So that's very, very important, because there are others, as we talked earlier, that are concentrating very deeply on one subject. We also talked about having a view of the whole field, right? Stepping back and looking at the whole business. I'm able to do that because I concentrate on a given topic fast. I come to a conclusion, I can move on to the rest of the panorama, let's say.
Absolutely. So what's next? You're
for me.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Robert asked me a question a couple of months ago. He said, "Well, how long do you want to keep doing this for?" Well, as long as I can get blood panels, okay? And I know exactly where every single element of my blood is, from free testosterone to my PSA levels. You guys do it all. I mean, when you do a panel, you do a panel.
And that's a good point that you bring up, because you have become very educated on your body. You know the ins and outs now of all the blood work that we've done. So besides just your hormone levels, we've optimized vitamin D, we've optimized
B12.
your B12 levels.
Right.
Like you said, we make sure your PSA has been great, and we've been monitoring that very, very closely as well. So I think that's a huge point, as far as getting to know yourself and getting control of your health. You want to know, what's going on in the inside.
Right. And it's a pretty cool thing. It's like the old days when I was growing up, the doctors used to come to your house, right? Well, when I go doctors used to come to my house. In
Sorry.
Cuba, the doctors used to come to my house and visit. But they used to come to the house. Well, when I go to your offices, I feel that the doctors come into my house because you go through every single line item. And if you see something, if you see a red flag, you monitor it and you come back to it. You don't drop it. And I find that in some places in the world out there, there are many red flags that come back from a blood panel or some test results, and they're either there's an oversight or something happens where the person responsible does not go back and follow up and say, okay, what do we do about this? And you do that.
And we work really closely with physicians, whether it's endocrinologists or urologists. You know, a lot of times we'll catch something on blood work that isn't even related to hormones. We'll find out that somebody has an infection that needs to be treated. We'll send them to their primary or to the hematologist. If you name it, we found it. Prostate with men, you know, it's an issue that's very, very important for men 40s and 50s and above. And we've had patients that we're monitoring, not even doing hormones, and all of a sudden their prostate score will skyrocket. And we'll get them to the urologist, and they've found different types of conditions like prostatitis. Some people they're monitoring for different types of inflammation. But 99% of the time, they send them back to the office and they get back on a program. But the point is that we're not a standalone. We look at the blood work. Every single case that we do is customized to what you need. And when we need to refer out, we do. If we can help you, we will. If we can't, then we get other people on board. It was interesting that I was just at a conference this weekend here at Trump Doral, an amazing place. And they were telling us that the Hippocratic Oath, which is the oath that's given to all medical professionals, 40% of the schools don't administer that oath anymore because it's very difficult to live up to. And there's a portion of that oath that says, if I do not know, I will get others to help me. And I think a lot of times when you speak about hormones or just topics that other doctors are not informed about, they'll just say it's not good. You don't need that, versus saying, you know what, let me find out because I don't know about that, if this can help you. And so that's why I'm glad you found us, and that the people that are listening will take advantage and do something, call our office, because this is the way that we can help them too.
And I was thinking about Hippocrates the other day because I used to sit in when I was little, I used to go, when I was good for my regular checkups, I would go to the pediatric
Yes.
doctor, and I would read that oath. And I still remember that oath, and that oath is, I wonder where it is in many places today.
Yep. Above all, do no harm.
Above all, do no harm.
And sometimes that's simply saying, I don't know.
Right.
Let me find out.
Right.
So, coming back to some of the things that you want to do, Leo, what are your goals now as far as this leg is healed up pretty well now? When you were really on the program, you're looking the part now, but you had the veins coming out of the arms, big muscles. What are you looking to get into as you're doing this venture capitalism now, as far as the physical side? What do you have time for?
The physical side is to readjust the cross training, which I've done. Okay, so I've taken the knowledge. My cross trainer is a very famous cross trainer, Chinese. And I've taken his best methods, his best practices, and now I've put together my own program of cross training. I'm doing more walking. I thought I'd never walk. I thought I would run forever. Okay, I'm walking now. Lifting more weights. Okay, I'm lifting more weights, more repetition, not very heavy weights. And I'm doing yoga, which has helped me quite a bit also to bring anxiety levels down and supplement what we're doing here.
Terrific.
Yeah.
So what would you say to somebody that wants to come into our office that's looking for more energy, more drive, better libido?
Set up an appointment, come talk to you, come talk to Robert, and feel comfortable. There's got to be that level of trust between the patient and the people that are administering the supplements. If there's no trust or if there's a bad feeling, but they should come and talk to you and see the operation that you have. That would be the first thing, and I think that whoever walks out is going to say, particularly if you go through a blood panel with an anonymous blood panel, you could see the kind of work that you do. So.
And we're happy enough to call you not only a patient but a friend, and the fact that we all address each other on a first name basis just states that. So we're happy to have you, Leo. We thank you for coming in.
It's a pleasure. You you've done a lot for me. And now I can go another couple of years dealing with millennials.
Yeah. That's a whole nother show, Leo, right?
That's a whole other joke.
So out there, we want to let you all know, join us every Wednesday night at 6 and Sunday morning at 9:30 to learn more about stem cells, bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, and physical medicine. Visit us on our website, apmrmiami.com, and call our office at 305-598-8788. That's Wednesday nights at 6 and Sunday mornings at 9:30 on 880 The Biz. Stay tuned for future episodes where we're going to be talking more about these topics on how to regenerate and heal the body without the use of drugs and unnecessary surgery. Remember, repair, replace, and regenerate. I'm your healthy host, Dr. Joe Gambardella, and I'll see you next time.